Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It's Ebbie Reviews, and this is going to serve as my review for Black Lightning Season 2, Episode 2, Book of Consequences, Black Jesus Blues. Now, I don't know if this review is going to live up to the last one, because not as much action-packed stuff's happened, but we'll see what happens. So, we start off with Tobias and Khalil. They are playing chess, and Tobias is trying to figure out what the hell happened and what was Khalil doing while this Count Mila Jovovich was getting a shoe to the throat. And he was like, I was just doing what I was told. I was sitting over there at the door watching the door. That's all I was told to do, was watch the door, and that's what I did. And he was like, so stupid. And he's like, you just set at the door? He was like, yeah, that's what I did. I just set at the door like I was told. I don't understand. And so he's like, whatever. They're playing chess, so for every move, he popped him one. And he said, and I took your queen just like you let them take my cyanide. And then he smacked him so hard that he did a triple sow cow onto the floor. And then he was like, checkmate. He's still angry and harboring feelings about Mila Jovovich dying. So, we then move on to the lab where all the pod children are. And No Name McRedshirt is walking around, taking readings. He's got a pen and a pad and he's taking notes of the pod. When one of the children in the pod wakes up unexpectedly, eyes just pop open like that, and he's like, and of course he's like, oh my god, what the hell is going on? And all this light starts to shoot out of his eyes and mouth, and so one of the beams hit No Name McRedshirt in the chest, and he bumps into a pod with Jordan Sparks in it, boom, and wakes her up. He ends up dead on the floor. The little boy who had the lightning coming out of his mouth vomits up what looks like light and then drops dead. So they've now woken up Jordan Sparks. She jumps out of her pod and she's trying to figure out what the hell is happening, what's going on. It's like a scene out of a horror movie. So then Wifey shows up and she's trying to talk her off, literally off the lid. It's okay, calm down, it's okay, we're friends, we're here to help. And she's like, and the little girl, she don't ever say nothing. She just looking like, what the hell is happening, what's going on? I don't know you people, where my mom at? I got to get the fuck out of here. So she peels a Lilu Dallas from Fifth Element, busts a hole in the side of the building, and then jumps out the hole. Baby. Yeah, it's not. People dropping dead left and right. So it then goes to the sisters. It jumps from once Wifey looks out the hole that Lilu Dallas and busts a hole in the wall and jump through, and she's like, okay, now we gotta find her. We go to the sisters who are having a conversation about accepting their powers. And of course, Thunder is all into her powers. Baby girl, not so much, because she has absolutely no control over what she's got going on. However, she did try and share stuff. She's like, well, since you got your powers, you ain't had no cramps on your period. I need powers. Or no period. I'll take either one at this juncture. It is just saying. And she was like, well, what does that mean? What if that means we can't have any babies? And she was like, well, Dad had powers and he had us. And she was like, yeah, that's all well and good until that's all that you're living for, is these powers. Which I think is a foreshadowing to something that happens later. We'll get to it. So, Issa Williams, the little boy from the body bag, is at the hospital, and Wifey is checking him out, and she brings his sister to see him. Nobody has figured out that he has the power of telling the truth. So when she comes and she's like, I'm scared, I don't want to take care of nobody in a zombie brother, And she gets so upset because that's not what she meant to say. She was going to be there for him regardless of whether she actually wanted to or not, because that's her brother and she loves him. So once she said all of that, she got really upset and ran off and left him there. And so then we go to this cocktail party where Amina Butterfly is sitting on a stool strumming her pain with his fingers while she sing a song to Thunder. Thunder is giving her the Mac Daddy eyeball the whole time. So when at the end of the song she rolls up on her, gives her her best her best player, you finna be mine for the night, sing me a song naked in some heels. And apparently Amina Butterfly done dumped Peter Guns because she all with the shits. And I was like, okay, girl, all right. So clearly they get to know each other very well, because the next morning Amina Butterfly is swimming in the pool and Thunder comes out in her drawers and they have a little conversation. And she was like, well, I can get my jet to take us anywhere. We can have breakfast in Paris or where, Paris, Texas, I don't know, anywhere in the world you want to go. And she was like, oh, you got it like that? And she was like, huh, you didn't know. And so she says, well, no, I can't. I gotta go to class. So this is gonna have to last me for a while because I got things I gotta do. And she was like, well, come back later. I'm having another party, blasey bloom, blue blue. So Jefferson and his Blackspurt friend are discussing what the school is requesting of Jefferson, as he has no longer being the principal, since he's going to step down as principal. They're saying they just want to make sure that you are going to be along with the plan and not to speak ill of the new principal. And he's like, why would I do that? I volunteered to step down. And he was like, wait a fucking minute. He's like, the new principal is white. Now, before they even got to it, he said the new principal's name was Mike Lowry. I said, not Mike Lowry. I said, if Will Smith shows the fuck up on Black Light, then I will be all the way done. But then he said it was white, and I was very disappointed, because I just knew he was going to be Mike Lowry from Bad Boys. I know it wasn't just me. So he's like, well, so because he's going to be playing the white savior to the black school, you want me to go along to get along. And he was like, you said you would do what you saved the school. So be a man of your word and save the school. So Gamby is looking for baby Jordan Sparks. And so he says she could go to one of these. She was alive 30 years ago. And so she's like more than likely to visit the places that she would have frequented before she went into the pod, like her mother's old apartment, the old rec center, her mama's old job. So she would go to someplace familiar. So he's got eyes on where she could pop up next. There is then a conversation between Khalil and baby girl. He shows up and he's like, but girl, I love you still. I tried not to love you, but I still love you. And she was like, look, I don't have time. What she wanted to say is, I love you too. But she was really like, I can't do this right now. Like, I got stuff going on. And she pushed him off the roof for killing her daddy. But she didn't say it was thank you. This is for killing my daddy. She said, this is for Black Lightning. So he says, if you tell me you don't love me, I'll leave. And he was like, she turns her back because her powers start to flare up and her eyes change color. And she had her back to him, and she was like, look, if you don't leave, I'm going to call the cops. And so finally he takes the hint and leaves. He'll be back though, because he's a nigga and they hard-headed. So we then go to Tobias to see his right-hand man, his old right-hand man, I guess before Cyanide, back in the days when Jefferson daddy was around, which was when Jefferson was a small boy. So he's talking to him and he's like, are they taking care of you here at the nursing home? And he was like, yeah. he's like, how's your health? He's like, it's good. I don't have the fountain of youth that you have, but it's good. And he was like, yeah, okay. So you remember when we took out the newspaper man? And he was like, yeah. And he called Jefferson's daddy's name, Pierce. He's like, and you shoved them stories down his throat until he dropped dead. And he was like, damn, I was hoping you wouldn't remember that. And he was like, oh, so, and his right hand man's like, oh, so I'm a loose end. And he was like, pretty much, yeah, bruh. And then he said, I love you. And he said, I love you too. He said, am I my brother's keeper? And then snapped that nigga's neck like a chicken wing. It's a lot. Okay, so after Tobias kills his old friend, Jordan Sparks is out in the streets just with her aerokinesis. That's not even a word. Y'all made that up. But she's out here with the winds of fury, just blowing shit up, knocking light poles down on police cars, trapping them in the cars. So she done ran off, and so Black Lightning and Thunder show up, and so Black Lightning kills the power to the lightning pole that fell on top of the cop car, and then Thunder pushes the cars out the way and then snatch the door open so they can get to the police officer. And so as they're trying to figure out what is happening next, the people, of course, who are around start applauding for them because, oh, they came to the rescue. And so Thunder, to all of her infinite wisdom, decides to get up on the car and take a bow. Now her daddy looking at her like, bitch, that's not what we do. We don't do this. This is not for the applause. Here for the applause. He's like, no, bitch, that's not what we do. No. And more no. So she was like, Dad, you're a stick in the mud. Get over yourself. He's like, really, what's next? Thunder Girl, Instagram and Twitter. He's like, we don't do this for publicity. We do this to help the people, and you need to know that. I really feel like the sound jumped the shark, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so they're having dinner as a family, and wifey brings home Issa. And of course, we haven't discovered the fact that Issa tells the truth. So everybody's sitting around, passing around the food, they're having a good time, and then just randomly people just start telling the truth. And Dad says, you acting like, tells Thunder, you acting like a fool out here taking baths and shit, bitch. You get your life together. And she was like, don't stop being a fuddy-duddy. I'm a grown woman. You can't tell me what to do. And baby girl's like, I feel trapped in this house. And mama's like, if you could just stop your whining for 30 seconds, that would be great. And everybody's trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And Issa's like, well, ever since I woke up, when I look at people, they have to tell me the truth. And the whole table clears. It was like the color purple. It was like, oh, time to go. That's how it was. It was like, oh. And so baby girl has Issa come up on the roof with her. She's smoking a joint, getting high. That's her therapy that she's supposed to be in. And she kind of gives him a quick and dirty lesson on how to rein in that truth-telling power that he has, so that it's just not willy-nilly going around using it willy-nilly on everybody with no control over what he's doing. And I think I'm sorry, I have the hiccups. And you think that's going to also come back around. Did I say the foreshadowing? I can't remember, and I'm tired, and it's late, and I'm sure I'll come back to it. Okay, all right. So the bias is now done pulled up on this car parked over in the dark, and he's having a clandestine meeting with somebody, and it is an officer. I guess the cop that was in his pocket. Now this seems a little rash to me, but who am I? I'm no kingpin. So he asked the officer, he was like, well, how did you like your vacation? And he was like, it was great. I realized that I hate my family, but thank you for the use of your house. Next time I'll take my girlfriend. old bastard. And so he's like, sure, no problem. He's like, you got the information that I asked you for? And he's like, yeah. And he hands him over an envelope, and he says, okay, cool. And he looks at the information, and the guy says, is there anything else you need from me? He's like, nope, that's it. Pow, 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 and kill this fool. Now, if that's the cop that's in your pocket, you might need him later on. He might be useful for some more stuff. Why would you kill him? But again, Tobias is cleaning up loose ends, because I think he thinks he's about to take over the town with these metahumans and the green light and whatever the hell is going on. I'm not exactly sure what his plan is, but he feel like he finna take over. So Thunder is back with Amina Butterfly at another dinner party. And so they walking around being cute. And you know how new coupley or new hookup-y people are, where they're all into each other and stuff. So what we did not know is that Thunder's ex-girl from last season is working the party. And she looked at Thunder like, really, bitch? This is why you can't? Okay, I got you. So Thunder roll up on her like, hey, how you doing? And she's like, bitch, really? That's what? You ain't called me in months, and just a hey, how? That's what you gonna get? Cool. And she was like, I gotta go back to work, bitch. I don't have time for you and your fucking with shenanigans. And she's like, oh well, she's like, sorry I didn't call. She was like, yeah, fuck you, and walked off. So Issa gets a choice. He talks to wifey, and she tells him, we not sure how long you have to live. We don't know what, some people's bodies start to break down, so this new stuff may kill you. And she was like, we can do one of two things. You can either go home until we can find a cure, or we can put you in a pod. And he decided to go home. And his I'm assuming his dad and his sister came to pick him up. So Jordan Sparks is over at the old community center. And so Gamby sees her and sends Black Lightning over there. And so she's freaking out. She's like, who are you? I don't know you. She use her wind technology and flip him like a pancake. And so finally he takes his lightning power and shock her. Now, I did want to note that the wife said that the girl was having a psychotic break. But if the girl never spoke any words, how can she tell she's having a psych? You can tell just by looking at a person that they're having a psychotic break. I don't think you can. Plot hole. So, he shocks her out of her psychotic break, and she's like, who are you? And that's the first word she spoke all episode. And he was like, I'm a friend, I'm here to help. And so she gives her his hand, and he takes her back to the lab, and they put her back in the pod. And she's like, is it going to hurt? And she was like, no, you're just going to go to sleep. And so now Jefferson has already approached the staff about them getting another principal. So now he has to approach the children and tell the children that he is stepping down as principal. And of course the kids is like, what are you talking about? You are the school, you can't step down. And he was like, the school was attacked. I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And so now I have to accept my punishment for not being here and protecting you when that was my job. And so they have a very lean on me moment when he gets choked up as he's saying goodbye and walking away. And the kids throw back what he has always told them. Whose life is this, and how are you going to live it, and all that good stuff. And they end on a good note. I don't know how that's going to bear out for the new principal. I feel like they are just going to treat him like a non-factor and go around him, and that's going to piss him off, and that's going to cause trouble at school. But we shall see. And that is how the episode ended. Yeah, that's how the episode, I had to take notes. That's how the episode ended. Hopefully it's more action-packed next week, so you can get yet another fun-filled, super hyped review from me, and we'll see what happens. And that's it for me for now, and I will catch you guys in the next one.